Option 1 for how to add a pop-up to your Squarespace website that in fact directs people to come across to Substack and sign up there. So from the main menu, Squarespace has a magnifying glass on the left side. Things move around in Squarespace as they improve and enhance features. So if in doubt, come into this magnifying glass, type POP for pop-up, and then click here. You'll find your way to the correct window. Now, option 1, come down the left side here until you see action. And we don't want to offer the chance to sign up for a newsletter. It would be fabulous if this integrated with Substack, but it doesn't. So the workaround we'll look at first is click a button. Now this gets super simple. Firstly, we have to type in something to go on the button, or you can see I'm experimenting and we get a little preview on the right side. I'm not in love with what it's saying here, but you get the idea that what I type in the box here is what we see on the button. And then you'll paste in the direct link for people to find your Substack. So this is one of my clients. Please don't use this link. But your Substack link will look something like this. There's a little settings icon here. And for bonus points, I recommend that you click on that. Make sure, of course, it says web address, and then ask it to open in a new window. This will open a new tab or a new window for the people that click it. And that way you slightly increase your chances that they will still come back and explore your website when they're done. That's bonus points. If you don't do that, then not the end of the world in this case. So that's in place there. That looks good. I'm going to click on the save button, and then I'll be returning to the main menu. Just a note here, this second row, that is for a second button. So we don't need that. I think this one here that sends people to Substack would be fine. So back out from promotional pop-up. The other things we can control here, and inside content, this is where we get to say what we want the headline to look like. So you'll see what I type here shows up in the preview on the right side. And then you'll give some kind of compelling reason for what they can expect or what's going on inside your general Substack topics. Subscribe. So headline and body, click save in the top left, back up again, top left into the main area. Display and timing, I'm not going to go through all these options, but this is where you come in and you control how the pop-up behaves so that you're not being obnoxious to your visitors. Do not make them look at this pop-up every time they come to your website. Do not show the pop-up before they've had any chance to explore and get to know you. These controls are all inside display and timing. And then style is available to you. Unfortunately, this is not necessarily linked through to your overall website styles. That's something that I'm a little bit disappointed that is not yet nicely integrated for your branding. So just know that you do have the ability to control your font colors and your font settings independently then inside this styling panel. So please, please, please try to be on brand, know your color codes, all that good stuff. But styles would be where you come to work through some of this good stuff. For now, top left, I will say save. When that has saved, I'm now clicking again top left to back up to the main promotional pop-up window. And if you do not already have display pop-up at the top toggled on to be green, then make sure you go ahead and do that and click save, and then go off and refer to my information on how you would test your pop-up and check to your satisfaction that it's working. Okay, so that's option 1. Option 2 for your workaround is to make use of the Squarespace pop-up and store your subscribers initially inside Squarespace, but then you will need to move them across to your Substack. So at the moment, this is mid-2024, you get to your pop-up window by coming down to marketing. If between me recording this and you watching the video, things have changed and you're not finding marketing and then marketing tools and then here promotional pop-up, know that inside Squarespace, there's a handy magnifying glass feature here at the top. You can click there. And if I type in pop and then choose pop-up, that will bring you to the necessary window quite nicely. So while you're working on this, I recommend you turn display pop-up off. And then this time, what we're going to do, come down to action, make sure that goal is set to say sign up for newsletter. And then you have 4 places here where you need to pay attention. So button, storage, verification, and post submit. Button, probably you want to say subscribe. You might say subscribe to Substack. Let's see if I can spell that. But then make sure you come to the storage tab. And under storage options, you are going to choose here. Let me back out of this so you can see what this looks like. Under storage options, if you have not yet said yes, you want to use the Squarespace email storage area, you will click in here to activate that. And for initial purposes, unless you have other mailing lists already set up, using the default Squarespace mailing list should be fine. Coming along to the verification tab, you will have to choose between either sending a confirmation email to new subscribers, so that's where a message lands in their inbox saying, do you really want to receive this? And or you can turn on the reCAPTCHA thing to try to trap the robots and the spammers. If you choose confirmation email, then it's well worth following this link and editing what people see in that email so they realize that it's from you, they realize it's talking about confirming that they want to subscribe to your Substack. Otherwise, I think the disconnect between they think they've done something for Substack, they then get something from Squarespace, this is not going to make sense. So I will just leave it that I am using the reCAPTCHA service. And then the final tab here, post submit, this is where you can say something meaningful. So that you let them know thanks very much and they'll start getting your Substack communications soon, or however you want to phrase that. More advanced would be to send them to a separate page on your website, but my guess is if you're a Substack user, you like to keep things quite simple. So that's those pieces. Click save at the top here and then come back to the main pop-up window. So we've done action. Content is where we can come in here and say something like, subscribe to my Substack, and in body, you might say a little bit more about the kind of thing they can expect and why your writing is so fantastic. So again, I'll save this now in the top left and come back to the previous window. That was content, display and timing. I'm not going to go into detail with this, but this is where I strongly encourage you to look at these options. Think about the experience for your visitor. We want our pop-ups to be polite and considerate and not annoying. So set these options up how you want them. And then down here, style. So worth knowing that you can configure the individual colors and fonts and whatever that are going on with your Substack pop-up. I will just take a look down here at button. Unfortunately, at the moment, this doesn't seem to be linked to your main website color palette inside Squarespace. So this is a really good place where if you know your color code, you can do yourself some favors inside here. Otherwise, and it grieves me to say this, you're going to have to do your best job of picking a color that coordinates with the rest of your brand. So that's changed to button color. You get the idea for the rest of these pieces. Top left again, click save. And then I can come back out of styles, back to the main pop-up window. That looks like it should all be done. If in the middle of doing that, display pop-up was not yet toggled so that it's on, you would change yours to green and make sure it's on. I'm on a trial site. I haven't paid Squarespace for this site yet, so I cannot actually activate and test my pop-up. But those are your steps for setting up this approach that stores your subscribers inside your newsletter. Later on, you're going to want to get at those subscribers so you can move them to Substack. To do that, you're going to come to your Squarespace campaigns window. Now, again, at the moment, we get to that by coming out to the main Squarespace menu, back out to the main menu. At the moment, that's under marketing. If it does move, then you've got the magnifying glass to search. I have got the right window open for the speed of this video. So you'll come into email campaigns. Your mailing lists will be available to you inside here. And you would then come inside the appropriate mailing list, and I've linked to a resource for how you would export your many subscribers. Or indeed over here, alongside the title of the mailing list, there are 3 dots. That means there's a menu, and inside there you've got the export list option. You would then have them ready to import across to Substack. Option 3 is really similar. It's the same initial approach, but instead of allowing Squarespace to store your subscribers inside email campaigns, we will make use of storing them in Google Drive instead. So let's come into the pop-up configuration window. You've seen this before. I like to try to tell the pop-up not to display until I'm ready. So let me hit save and see if it remembers that. Okay, so this time under action, yes, I still want to invite people to sign up for a newsletter. Yes, the placeholder of email address is fine. Under the submit button label, okay, maybe I'll just call this subscribe. You can see the difference that makes on the right side in the preview. Top left, I'm saving, and then I'm coming. No, I'm not coming back. So that was the button tab. Next tab is storage. This is the difference. So instead of allowing Squarespace to store these addresses, come down here, we've got connect other services. Squarespace doesn't have many integrations. I figure you wouldn't be bothering with this if you used MailChimp, but here's Google Drive. So this is a different place where we could store our new subscribers. You'll come in here, you'll say click to connect, and then you will be invited to log in to your Google account so that Squarespace and your Google Drive can talk to each other. But basically, you will have several things to agree to in order for Squarespace and Google to become friends. And then here we are back on our storage tab. If you've done that successfully, you should now find that you've got Google Drive down here as your intended storage location. It needs a spreadsheet name. So give that a meaningful name that you can find and access in future. Something like a new Substack people. And then what we notice here is it looks like we've got our subscribers now going to 2 places. So I'm going to remove the Squarespace email campaigns option so that my people are now being stored only in one place, and that will be inside a spreadsheet on Google Drive. So that's good. This feels like a good time to save. Top left. Verification, you can probably leave that the same. Post submit, you can probably leave that the same as you saw in the previous option. So the big difference here then is inside the storage tab, you're going to want to make sure that this says Google Drive and that you have done the that you've logged in and given permission and actually connected those accounts. So I'm backing out now to the main pop-up menu. I think that is the only difference I want to show you for option 3. So the action is join a newsletter. You'll do your headline, you'll do your text. You'll be very thoughtful about how often this displays and when. And you can style your pop-up form just as we saw previously. When you're done, of course, you will toggle the display on for your pop-up to be active, and you'll need to test it. And then when you are ready to do your admin and copy people across from Google Drive to Substack, you'll go and find them in Google Drive. You might or might not export them in a file type that Substack will pay attention to. And depending how many subscribers you've got, you'll have the fun task of either typing them in individually or running the Substack import process. But that then is your third workaround for how you might make it appear that you have a pop-up on your website that subscribes people to Substack.